Hello, broadband professionals. Welcome to the Golden Gate Chapter's YouTube channel. And thank you for watching our series on getting to know your board of directors. In this episode, I will be talking to Rachel Gorini. Rachel is currently a construction project manager with Comcast. She previously worked as an admin assistant and project coordinator with Cablecom. She is currently working on her Bachelor of Science in Business Management, and Rachel represented the Golden Gate chapter at the 2025 Leadership Conference. In addition to her role on the Golden Gate chapter board, she is the president of the WIC NorCal chapter and a member of the Project Management Institute. Hi, Rachel. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Woody?
I'm doing okay. So just tell us a little bit about your history.
Rachel's history. Born and raised in Boise, Idaho, where my family moved out to California when I was little. Grew up in San Jose, and grandparents and cousins and everyone here. Total Italian family. Definitely instilled a passion for making good food. Was something that I thoroughly enjoyed, working in the garden, and spending the afternoon in the kitchen making sauce and pasta. Watching my grandparents, cook was something that fascinated me. My most favorite was tomato season, getting to sit in the yard and my grandma would bring out giant tomatoes right off of the vine and a jar of garlic salt and just sit and have an afternoon snack. Definitely the equal summertime to me when tomatoes are in season.
Yeah. For the few Italian families I know, gardening and kitchen is like, yeah, that is the thing, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So what led you into a role in the broadband field?
I was in transition phase back in 2013, had left a sales position for retirement community, and was in a lost space, didn't know what direction I was headed. Applied to many positions, and a friend of mine got me an interview out at Cablecom in Santa Clara. And honestly, it was from that interview with Terry White and meeting the team out there, basically offered me the position basically on the spot. It was a great day. And I knew right then and there, the type of leader that Terry was. Found out that my mom was in the car waiting for me, and brought her inside because it was the middle of summer and hot out there. So I knew that was where I wanted to be. And the rest is history. The rest is history.
So you had several roles at Cablecom. Tell us about those roles.
Yeah. I got hired in as a admin assistant. It was spent that role a couple of years, for about 2 years, as an admin, and then took care of primarily Metro E in that space. So it was a fast moving world, a lot of growth. And I think back then we were still placing 12 count fiber. Uh, and then 2 years later, I received a promotion as a project coordinator. So I got to see the other side of our world out in the field, which was great.
And then you were hired at Comcast. So tell us about your roles at Comcast.
At Comcast, when I got hired in, it was kind of like a graduation. It was living the dreams and goals that you're at Cablecom and you get to interact with Comcast folks all the time. And so when I got hired in by Billy Gleason and Chuck Roeder as a construction specialist, I got to work in the field and pivot to the other side, working with Cablecom and our business partners to make sure projects were going forward. So I quickly dove in there. And then a year later, switched roles into a fiber project manager, which was a different space. It was a technically a manager position, and so had a lot more responsibility, a lot to take care of, a lot more customers to interact with. But I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And then they transitioned that role from a fiber project manager to a project manager. And then shortly after that, I transitioned into West Division and supporting the construction bucket underneath Mike Burnett and Mark Merritt, and then my direct leader, Ben Weil. And now I support SMB, small business, small medium business, and a lot of the betterment, so forced relocate and span replacements and that type of thing.
You've been involved with many aspects of the construction piece of
Been a
broadband. Yeah,
villain. Yeah.
that's quite impressive. So, what led you to become involved with SCTE?
SCTE, when I came into Comcast in 2017, there were many great leaders that were around. It was, the Steve Morioka and Gino and Danny Rayner and a lot of the folks who were heavily involved in SCTE were still with Comcast, and found out very quickly that Comcast, being one of the leading MSOs, provided memberships to us, and so I wanted to take advantage of that and learn as much as I could. When I came into Comcast, I went from Metro East specific to SMB specific, so it was a completely new architecture that I needed to quickly learn, and SCTE provided me the ability to do that. And so that's what really drove my desire to learn and to get involved. And then it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I got nominated to be on the board. And I've thoroughly enjoyed that as a WIC liaison. And then this last year, received nomination to be board secretary. And so I'm really hoping to continue that and create a space for future generations coming into the industry.
And I know I appreciate your work as a secretary, because that kind of holds, that's the glue that holds the whole board together. Putting all that stuff, putting everything we talk about in a document, what we've done and what we're going to do, et cetera, is very helpful. So on a personal note, what do you like to do when you're not working?
I love traveling, getting to experience new places and getting to try new foods and that type of thing. We've been many places over the last few years, but my favorite had to be Alaska. And oddly enough, got to try a couple of James Beard Award nominee places, so that was entertaining. And then when I'm not traveling and I'm at home, you'll find me either sewing or crocheting or making some sort of craft item that I make for family and friends, and keep my hands busy, keep my mind busy all the time. So it's rare that you find me not doing anything.
like to keep yourself busy. So
Definitely.
as we wrap this up, I'd like to thank Rachel for talking to us today. And thank you to our audience for taking time to get to know your chapter leaders. So in October, tune in for our next edition. So until next time, we'll see you. Take care.